Hi, Virgo. It's Angela. We're here to do your soul guidance reading for November 2022 for Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or anybody who feels drawn to this video. Just know our energies match and it's your message as well. I have a few housekeeping things before we get started on your reading. The first thing, I created a new playlist in my channel, and it is called Weekly Intention Readings. Those are, I'm part of a group called Pause at the Well, which you're all welcome to join if you'd like. I'm going to put the link in this, the video notes. And it's a Monday morning intention setting group. You could also just get on the email list and receive the videos that we record. You don't have to show up live. And these videos are posted on my YouTube channel as well. So they are just general soul guidance readings for the collective. And I do them in collaboration with Maria Mellano of Integral Bloom. And I'll put the link to her channel down there as well, too. So I just thought, we've been doing these for quite a while, and I just started matching them, saving them to a playlist on my channel. So hopefully you get some enjoyment out of those. They're nice, readings that are focused on your soul growth, just like these are, but they're more for the collective and more for the current energies every week that we have, in the group. And then the next thing is with Maria again, the same woman from Integral Bloom. We created a vision course. It's called Bloom Your Vision, and it's going to launch in January, the first Saturday in January, and it will go for 7 sessions. It will go Saturday, and then we'll have 5 Mondays, and then a final Saturday closing event. It's going to be a great course. We have a companion journal that goes with it, and it's just got a lot of details that helps you dive deeper into your soul to create the vision and to manifest the life that you want. So check that out. And then if you don't have to be there for every session either, I should let you know that it's self-paced, and we'll record the videos, and you'll receive those too after each session. So that's something to know. And then the last thing is, if you want to join my newsletter, go to groundeddreamers.com. The link's on my channel here, and join that newsletter, because I'm also kind of creating some things behind the scenes and getting things ready on my website that's going to expand it a little bit beyond just these readings. I think that's it for now. Okay, let's get to your reading, Virgo. We're using this deck, the messages from the Mermaids. And the card that I pulled for you is Go with the Flow. Let me see if you can see that lady. She is really in the swoosh of the water. She's just moving. She's actually looks like she's being like in a little bit of turmoil in the waves, but she's just moving with it, right? So that is the vibe that I pulled for you guys. A lot of times when we don't see an outcome that we like, or mostly I think it happens when the timing of something isn't how we would like it to be, right? We want to push through it and force some things through. It's really important to just, it's important enough, if you care about the stress level in your body, I think, to really just let things show up as they do in the universe, at the timing that they're meant to. We don't really always we don't really have a lot of control over much that happens in our lives. What we have control over is how we respond to it and how we show up. So the act of resisting anything that's maybe unwanted or not moving fast enough, or any one of those scenarios, just that energy expended in resisting is probably creating more difficulty than it needs to, than if you were to just move and adapt and shift and move, let those waves kind of tumble you around. Not too much though, you know what I mean? So that's the basic premise there. Let's see what the Zen cards say, and we can maybe find a path through this. So we have your first card, Virgo, is compromise. So, I mean, right away, it tells us when we're up against resistance, do we want to push harder and, hold our ground and, stand and be right? Or do we want to move in the direction and in the pace and rhythm that the universe is asking us to? So sometimes, yeah, we need to take a hard look at what are those things that are important and are sort of non-negotiable for us. And then what other aspects are kind of like, okay, however this turns out, I'll figure it out, right? That's what you want to begin to examine, those what areas in your life are creating resistance, or that by your holding fast to what your expectations are, that it does create some resistance. And if that is the case, and if it's uncomfortable, there's areas that you might want to relinquish that hold. Internally, the card that goes with compromise is suppression. So see, when we resist, what do we get? Right? Everything hangs on. There's a gripping, there's a density to that feeling. There's a lot of darkness in this card, and it's actually, I pulled it for someone else earlier for another sign. I can't remember which one, but it's intense. And this is what's going on within you, right? And I'm just assuming that either some of you have a situation in your life that is not coming out the way you've, anticipated, or the way you've hoped it would. And by using resistance against it and not going with the flow, you're creating a lot of this like sort of backlog within your being. This is an energetic suppression, right? Feelings, aspirations, the things that you wished were and didn't happen and didn't come through. If you hold resentment toward, that situation or another because of it, this is what that energy feels like. That's what that gripping, sort of clinging energy is, and pushing down to that kind of a vibe. So we need to be, kind of just aware of those areas in you where that kind of a backlog and blocked up energy is going on. And then if you can, shift the waters a little bit and move with what you have, it could loosen up a lot of that stuff and let it go free. This is a really good time for, some of this old stuff to come up and through with this eclipse that we just passed. It would be a good idea to get some of those feelings out into the open so that they can clear. In your external world, the card we pulled, the combination of knowing that there's going to be spaces when we need to compromise, and being aware of where we didn't compromise, how that affects our being and how that locks us up. In your external world, in your day-to-day life, you start to realize the no thing attachment is much better than gripping, the going with the flow. Basically, that's what the no thing is. Expect nothing, need nothing. No thing is that important for you to have to cling to, if it's going to mean that you're sort of blinded to the energies that are present and the things that could move you forward right now, if you weren't so fixated and stuck on one outcome, right? So interesting how making that shift, let's see what happens in this next card, but making that shift could really open things up. Oh, see, now we get to the indecisiveness. So now in the going with the flow, this figure right here, he's clinging to the cliff edges, right, with his hands and his feet. And it's like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. That's this energy here. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I can't, I can't decide. Do I let go of my hands? Do I let go of my feet? What do I do? And the guidance here is let go of both. And that would be to really bring about the energy of the no thingness card, is to just kind of go, okay, here we go. I'm going to free fall and see where it goes. But then you end up in this flow, right? This is kind of the result of letting go of, the need for a certain outcome, letting go of, some of that suppressed, clinging, gripping vibration that many of us do just as a matter of, we feel like it's for our survival or for our, to achieve a goal that we want, that we promised ourselves we would, right? And if it's not coming out the way we thought it would, we want to push through because we want to, come through on that promise to ourselves. But, sometimes the things that the universe brings in front of you are even more delightful, or maybe shortcuts. Maybe that flowing water that she's tumbling around in will send her right into the space that she wants to be in, without even really trying. So it's a hard thing. These are some heavy cards, and they're not, it's just one of those things that sounds simple, but it's not always easy to put into practice. And what we're here today to try to do is to sort of shine a light on those areas where we do have some stuckness and we need to move into a flow better. And then I think and let's see what the next cards say, but I think a nice follow-up to that would be, okay, now that I'm moving with whatever the universe brought me, where's that going to take me now? And having that willingness to kind of just go with what's there. We could put an example out like, I'm going to make a very simplistic example, but let's just say, I went shopping and I wanted to get a pair of black shoes. I needed, black shoes for whatever. I wanted to get them. And I went and I looked, and I could find gray and I could find brown, but I could not find any black. Right. And so I, instead of pushing and resisting, and I have to get the black shoes, it's more like, let's just try the gray, right? Let's just see, the grays are available, and then you try them, and then it ends up being perfect for whatever, people compliment you on your gray shoes or whatever. That's really simplistic and actually really kind of surface, but it's okay. What I mean is that just by adapting to what is there for you, to what is being presented for you by the universe, the energies that are there, the people that show up for, whatever this is that you're trying to accomplish, it's just a lot better. And we could also, sort of bring it down to just our daily self. It doesn't have to be any big achievement we're trying to achieve, but just our daily self. Like, say you forgot to set your alarm in the morning and you're going to end up being late to work and it's freaking you out, and you're all gonna, and then it's like, let me just move into what I have here, which is, I didn't wake up on time. If I'm going to rush this and force it through and try to get to where I'm going on time, it could create, I could get distracted. It could create, accidents. I could, there could be traffic and it could make it worse. So it's a matter of just resting in that flow of what is. Now, maybe you have a mean boss and they'll get mad at you if you're late for work, but really, it's better than being, so stressed out in your body that, you can hardly function. So you make that decision in the moment. Okay. Oh, I guess I woke up a little later today. I guess my start time, is meant to be a little bit later. And then you just move accordingly. It creates a lot less stress for you, and it keeps you aligned as you move through your day, right? I know my examples kind of suck, but sorry. I'm trying to, make a point for that flow, that, whatever shows up and whatever happens, let's go with it. Just go with it. It's more like learning to say yes to everything, and almost anything that comes up, instead of no. There's a stuckness to that. No, I have to have it this way. Then you end up getting yourself in turmoil. But instead of saying, the alarm went off. Okay, yes, I'll go to work a little bit late. And then there's just more ease in your day that way. I know I'm sorry, my examples suck, but we'll see. Okay, now we get to move. So now we've moved through this sort of denser layer here of cards where we are called to look at the spaces where we could possibly compromise so that we could relieve some of the stuff that we're gripping onto that's, energetically within us. Maybe these are, maybe it's like, I never like to be late. So now that my alarm went off, that's a horrible thing. And then that just adds to this pile within you, right? Instead of, oh, my alarm went off late, I guess I'm going to go in a half hour late today. That's okay, because I didn't expect to be perfect and to work on time exactly every day, right? Then when, these decisions here are coming upon you, oh, my alarm went off. Do I rush to get there, or do I just not even go in at all, or, back to the other extremes? And it's more like, nah, I'm just going to let go and move with what I have. And that is, a slightly late day. And that's okay. So once we get all that worked out, that we're going to release some of this gripping that we tend to do, then we land here on the Rebel. Look at that. Now you're moving free and easy. Now this guy's got these chains that have bound his feet. He's breaking them. They're like, he's just demolishing them. He's leading his own way. He's fully on just being who he is in the moment with what is provided to him and moving forward accordingly. So now there's ease. Now there's a little empowerment. We want to think of, I have in my head the way this needs to turn out, and I'm going to stick with that. And we want to think that there's no nobility in that's a good thing. I'm going to stick with my word, which is most of the time, yeah. But if it comes at the cost of your alignment and the ease that you can move through your day in, then maybe it takes another, maybe you need a little compromise, right? Compromise with yourself, with your own integrity, because holding integrity doesn't always mean doing what's expected of me that others, need from me. Holding your integrity is moving, from your inner being, from what your inner being guides you to. And that, that can be many different things for many different people. So that's the thing. It's moving in your own pace, space, level of energy, and making your own decisions. There's freedom in that, and there's flow in that, and power. It's empowering. Okay, let's get the last couple cards. So the internal response to this sort of feeling free again and sort of being unapologetically you, right? Undercurrent energy to go with that is guidance. So now that's the flow. That's the flow we're looking for. Look how similar these cards look with the movement and the waves. Your inner being gets to guide you now, and your persona, showing up, gets to show up with power because it's being propelled and moved by the internal vibration that's there. So look at how we got to transform from this within to this within, right? It's like night and day. Stuck energy, backlogged energy, stuff that you just cling and grip to, and then you've transformed it into a flow, an ease, more light, that's really telling. And then your final card here is new vision. And I love this for your final card. This is like that commitment to yourself that you're going to, reach for ease and flow and try things a new way than maybe you would have in the past with a little more gripping and clinging. There's a lot of, and depending on your own personal experience, there's a lot of ways you can signal when this stuff is kind of going sideways, or when you're clinging too much. There's physical manifestations usually in your body. When you're clinging too much, it will sometimes show up, on your physical self. And for me, I know it's in my heart chakra area. When I'm resisting, I feel it here, because I also, my breath gets shorter. I sometimes hold my breath, right? So I notice it here a lot. So, there's just things to pay attention to. And you achieved that, and you clung to what was right, and you made it all the way through. At what cost? Just make sure. And that's where the compromise comes in. It doesn't mean you just give in to everything, right? That's where the compromise comes in, and the decision making. It's, what is my best outcome here? What could I do? What direction could I step in for the best good, right? Instead of the original idea of the outcome. Sometimes it could be even better if you're moving with information and energy and stuff that the universe is providing for you moment to moment. So it's when you can adapt and move with the flow, do so, because then it will be easy. Then it will be easier. And when you feel, you just got to hold your ground, that's okay too, but just be cautious of that hidden energy, of that stuff that stays stuck within you and that doesn't get a lot of movement, because that's important that you continue your flow. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a little bonus card for you guys. It's coming from this deck called The Sacred Creators, and it's by Chris Ann. And it's just simple little, quick little message from the universe that you might want to listen to. We'll see. All right. So the card I'm getting for you, Virgo, is you are living poetry. I love this so much. And just like the mermaid flowing in the sea, you're shifting and moving with the tides, and there's poetry in that motion as well. I love this. This is beautiful. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thanks for being here again, and check out the notes that I put in this video, because there's some links and stuff that I don't usually put. And until next time, love you guys.